not having any of them myself, but I've read about those experiences, and what I hear about it is that there is a learning process even in heaven. And in the end, the being of light turns out to be someone very familiar to you, and loving and caring, just the way you grew up. And I guess that's ultimately one of the answers. Now someone says, oh yeah, well, that's not enough of an answer. Does it not, after all, say that I am the way, the truth, and the life? No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Therefore, everybody must go through that narrow gate. And it refers to it, both in these references and in the Bible itself, to a gate through which they must pass. So must not everybody go through that gate? Yes, but you don't know that Jesus is not accepting of a variety of people who go through that gate. And if you want to look that up, I'm going to ask somebody to do this. Look up John 10, somewhere between 1 and 16. Edie, can you do that? And we'll come back to it in a minute. Because there it's a story about sheep in a pen. And Jesus is the good shepherd. And so in that good shepherd, so that good shepherd is the gate through which they must all pass. And yet somewhere down in that passage, in about 10, 11, 12, 80, do you have something like there?
The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd who owns the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he's a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that are not of the sheep pen.
Okay, and go ahead.
Okay. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice, and there shall be one flock and one shepherd.
There were other sheep pens.
I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also.
Doesn't sound like you have to, and now you say, suppose I jump to the conclusion that you don't have to be a member of the Christian church in order to experience this. Oh my gosh, Hal, why did you bring that up?
A lot of people like it.
A lot of people are thinking that and feeling that. And it doesn't say, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. But he said, it doesn't say, no man cometh unto the Father unless he were baptized and went to the XYZ church. It does say, no man cometh unto the Father but by me. I am the gate. And there are other sheep pens. Another issue is, I didn't know what I was touching on last time when I mentioned the fact that there were cases in which the person had this experience, went down the dark tunnel, and it remained dark. It was not black, but it was certainly dark. And then how to get out of it and so forth. In my reading this last week, there's this particular case of a woman who is resuscitated, brought back, is about ready to enter her body, and she claims she was then attacked by demons. Well, you know, I'm not actually into demons much, because I have always believed that Jesus declared his victory over death and the devil, and that therefore I don't have to worry about it very much. But in this particular case, she felt that she was being attacked by demons and began to cry out. And one of the personalities that she had met in the afterlife, 2 or 3 of them appeared and it protected her by surrounding her with a dome of light. And she was told that light will always be with you and they will keep those bad guys away from you. Well, and that's just this particular. There are others who describe their supernatural rescue from those influences which are negative. And anyway, that's another experience that I've had lately. I want to get into another characteristic that is almost always happens, and that is the light. Now, the light is a dramatically powerful source of illumination, and it is filled with love and knowledge. And as I said, there are different ways in which this has been identified, but it is a remarkable experience, and people don't ever get over this one. If they get this far as to remember anything, they remember the light, and the light is the light that saves us. A couple of specific characteristics of this light. There's this word, it is ineffable, that is inexpressible. There is no way to describe what this light is like. And yet they continue to give you some clues to it. The light is the beginning very bright. It is so bright as to be 10 suns. It is maybe 10,000 suns. It is extremely bright, but it doesn't hurt your eyes to look at it. The light is not just a source of illumination. The light is a person, which is see, I always had a little problem with the Trinity and so forth. My dad would say, well, you know, it's the person of God, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And it never seemed to make a whole lot of sense to me that would be true. These people who go there and come back says, this is a personal experience. This is, and here, for example, how do they describe it? Well, all-knowing, all-loving, quote, I never wanted to leave the presence of this being, as though they were now attached and loving themselves. It conquers fear. It is never condemning. See, I mean, all of these things which are personal to you and your belief systems. And what does the light do? The light gently asks, do you love? Have you in your life attempted to learn something? And it is not the question that says, all right, now, did you love anybody? That isn't the question. The question is, talk to us about what it is, what your experience was when you were living on earth. Did you try to love and honor God and your neighbor? That's the kind of question and inquiry that comes to you from the light. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the light and maybe what some of the characteristics of it. And I'm going to use this from a source that is outside of these particular sources. And so in order to do that, I just hope you'll forgive me as I write it down, remembering that these are really not this is not my particular part of the story.